Hey gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. In today's video, I have a super duper quick comparison between Paris Corner's newest Khair Felicity and Kyalie's The Wedding Silk Santal. The notes for Felicity are very similar to the notes for the Wedding Silk Santal, and I wanted to see just how close Paris Corner might have been able to get to the original. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts, then please stay tuned. Hey friend, thank you so much for tuning back in for another one. I want to say hi to those of you who may be new here. Thank you for clicking on that thumbnail first and foremost. On this channel, I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, I sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle here and there, and there's a little bit of encouragement in every single video. So if any of those things sound good to you, then I would love to have you here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. The Wedding Silk Santal has very sweet, vanillic, woody, fruity, and floral tones. There's a little bit of everything in this fragrance. What I love about this fragrance is it does include like this fantasy champagne note. It's supposed to have a sparkly, fizzy, maybe even a little aldehydic quality to it, and it just feels very bright, light, almost crystal clear. So it opens up with that champagne. There's freesia and also blackcurrant at the top, and then at the mid of this fragrance you have nectarine, praline, jasmine, orange blossom, and May rose. At the base you have sugar, you have sandalwood, musk, vanilla, amberwood, and oak moss. And here is the newest Khair Felicity, and this fragrance differs just a little bit in the notes. It doesn't have quite as many notes as the original. At the top of this fragrance you do have the champagne and freesia, but you have the leaves of the blackcurrant instead of the actual blackcurrant. But the leaves, the cassis note, are still supposed to give off a syrupy sweet quality, but there is like a little hint of green with that particular note. The mid is also a lot more simplistic in this fragrance. You have rose, musk, and jasmine, and those are really the only mid notes. So this does not have the praline and the nectarine that really stood out to me in the original. And again, the base is not quite as hefty as the original. The base of this fragrance has vanilla, sugar, and musk. So I have been testing these two fragrances side by side. I tested them on skin, and I also have them on tester strips. I have Felicity on this side and the Wedding Silk Santal on this side. So for me, Felicity opens up very sugary sweet and syrupy sweet. When I first sprayed it out, it was very sweet to my nose. And then after about a few minutes, once it started the dry down process, the freesia started to peek through. I didn't get lots of champagne in this fragrance when I first sprayed it out. And that champagne accord, I also don't pick up a ton of it in the original either. But this one is different from the original, because this one opened up sugary sweet right away. And I think it's the cassis, the leaves of the blackcurrant, that is giving off this like syrupy sweetness. Now the Wedding Silk Santal opens up a little bit differently, in my opinion. The Wedding Silk Santal opens up a little bit more fresh, more green, more zesty. It does carry more of that champagne essence, but to me, the champagne note is not fizzy. To me, the champagne note comes across as more aldehydic and crystal clear, and I do get more of that in the original. Also, the freesia is amped up in the original even more so. So to my nose, the difference between the two in the opening is the original opens up more green, more fresh, more floral with the freesia, more light and bright, whereas Felicity opens up more sugary sweet. There's still a lightness and brightness, but the syrupy sweetness really takes over in the opening of Felicity. As the Wedding Silk Santal begins to dry down, it does get a little bit more fluffy, more sweet, but the freesia is still present, and I feel like it's still a little bit more green, a little bit brighter than Felicity. At the mid of Felicity, I picked up a lot more of those floral notes. I felt like it was more floral dominant dominant than the original fragrance, particularly the rose. To my nose, I felt like I could really smell that rose. And then also, this one is much more musky than the original. As this fragrance begins to dry down, the musk starts to take over at the mid. So if you're not a fan of super musky fragrances, you should know that the musk is pretty strong once this starts to develop into the mid of the fragrance, as well as the floral notes. It's much more floral dominant at the mid, and I think that probably has something to do with the fact that that's pretty much all there is at the mid of this fragrance. You have the florals and the musk, whereas in the Wedding Silk Santal, you have a lot more at the mid. The mid is a little bit more complex. The mid of Silk Santal is more nuanced, which might be why it's not quite as musky or floral dominant. It has a really nice, well-balanced mid. That being said, the mid of this is very, very nice as well. It is musky, but it is still very pleasant to my nose. I think that when it comes to Felicity, it's much less earthy, much less woody, and much more syrupy sweet than the original. And then of course, the reverse is true for the original. The original just has this touch of green. It has a little bit of earthiness, a little bit more woodiness. It's just a little bit more complex than Felicity. Overall, I think they did a good job with this dupe. I think it gives the same feel. It does have this light, bright, sugary sweetness. To describe what I mean by light, bright, sugary sweetness, just think of refined sugar, the sugar crystals of refined sugar. That's kind of the feel that this scent profile evokes for me. And then there's a light brightness, which I'm attributing to the champagne accord. I think that feel is present in both fragrances. However, the Wedding Silk Santal is a little bit more nuanced, and you can definitely tell the difference between the two. So overall, I would say Felicity is about 90 to 92% similar to my nose as of right now. It is still a very new bottle of fragrance. It still needs time to macerate. So we're definitely going to circle back to this fragrance, but those are my initial thoughts. I think they got really close, and they gave us the same basic feel and essence of the Wedding Silk Santal. That being said, one of the things that I think is superior about Felicity is the performance. This has projection that is more than an arm's length away, and the sillage for a brand new bottle of fragrance is absolutely fantastic. It has the type of sillage that sort of just sits in the air. When I sprayed this out, I left the room that I was in, came back several times hours later, and the room still smelled like this fragrance. Additionally, this fragrance is long lasting. I did the PJ test on it. I sprayed it on my PJs before bed, woke up the next morning, it was still on my PJs. When I put my PJs in the hamper, it was still going strong, to where if someone was in my vicinity, if they were near me, they would definitely smell this fragrance. So I think this fragrance has amazing performance, and it smells great. It gets you really close to the original, but it's not a super close dupe in my opinion, at least not right now. If you are wanting this same profile and you don't want to spend the money on this one, I think Felicity gives you the same feel. It may not be a super close dupe, but it definitely gets you close to the feel of the Wedding Silk Santal. So those are my thoughts on the new Khair Felicity by Paris Corner and how it compares to the Wedding Silk Santal by Kayali. All right, my friend, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching to this point in the video. I'm so grateful for you. If this video was helpful to you and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a like on your way out. And also, if you're here and you love fragrance content, I make quite a bit of it on this channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss another video. Today, I want you to leave this video remembering how absolutely capable you are. You are capable of accomplishing great things, and it's important that you remind yourself of that every single day. That is something that I remind myself of every single day. I remind myself that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!